Welcome, mighty holy companions, to our chapter 20 joining session. We'll be sharing what we're learning from Jesus as we go through chapter 20 of Jesus, the New Covenant, ACIM. This chapter contains beliefs and desires from A Course in Miracles that we join with our partner daily for about an hour to go line by line in contemplation together with our partner. We have one mighty companion that we're paired with. Jesus pairs us up, and so we've had this program going on for over a year now through the devotional center, and beings come to the center also who are called and invited by Jesus to deepen their relationship with Jesus in this way, by looking daily at the desire to deny the light within. So this joining is actually the call. What I was hearing for the theme of this is the call to cease to deny the light within, the light that's here, that we are, that we share. So what we're learning as we go through the chapter, usually what'll happen is kind of right before the session, I'll just ask Jesus, okay, what desire do I need to look at? What's most helpful to look at for this joining? So you can ask that now. I also wanted to just read, and share a little bit of the introduction for Jesus, the New Covenant, chapter 20. All of the beliefs of the ego thought system that are, welcome, Martin. Thank you for joining us. I'm just reading the introduction to chapter 20. I'm just going to read a little bit of that and share that. All of the beliefs of the ego thought system that are below awareness in the subconscious mind are given in A Course in Miracles. It is suggested to review and quickly clear these beliefs and desires in light circle sessions. So we also have ongoing light circles that we share through the messenger group, YouTube, our YouTube channel, and on Facebook. And we have an app, an enlightenment app that each day there's a morning light circle with the daily lesson, the ACIM, A Course in Miracles lesson for the day. And then in the evening, it's we either share a previously recorded light circle, or we've been going live recently, so you may catch a live video. Let's see, when are we going live, tomorrow or tonight? Tonight. We're going live tonight. So there'll be a live light circle tonight as well. So this is merely a symbol of reviewing all of these with me in the light of truth to see that they have no meaning other than the meaning you would give them. This is where willingness is acceptance of your true power as one with the Father. Notice in each case how the desired experience is for you to feel more or less than you already are. See that these are desires for objective experience, the experience of an object acted on by the world. Infinite being does not know more or less. Infinite being is. Thus is the contrast between what you are and the miscreation to experience what you are not. These beliefs and desires are all the same in that they are denials of divinity. Many of these desires may seem to be very close or the same, and in the light of truth, they are the same. Within the ego thought system, to look at each one in the light of truth is helpful, as this demonstrates the diversity of ways the decision to experience separation displays as the experience of fragmentation of consciousness below the level of awareness. Carefully contemplate each one and see that each is a decision to deny who you truly are, and that you can never truly deny who you are. This is a valuable use of time to see you are already timeless. In each case, the beliefs given in Course in Miracles are retranslated to demonstrate the desire for the experience that exists below the belief. No thought, feeling, or emotion, no objective experience arises without the desire for it. And if you believe it, you will seem to experience the effects of your desire. And what I was noticing is one of the desires that I've had is to feel timid about being on camera, speaking. Just noticing my microphone is not very close to me, so I'm going to move it closer. Okay. And Jesus has been sharing through my brothers, speak up and let your voice be heard as the voice, as a representative of the light. So I'm seeing just the power of admitting the desire to deny the voice of the light within, that it is my voice, it's natural. And it's just something I've wanted to suppress and not look at, and not just look at directly. And so chapter 20 is an invitation to look at this desire directly and practice speaking Jesus with our brother, and hearing Jesus in our brother. And Martin, before you joined us, I was just mentioning that we're just looking at what we learned this week from Jesus. If you have anything to share, just let us know. If you want to share something, a desire that's come up, or you have a question or anything. I'll unmute you. I can't hear you. Oh, okay, you have to unmute.
Okay, now you can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. I haven't been, my partner's not here, obviously. We haven't been doing a whole great deal in the last couple of weeks for various reasons, because we're each doing things and it's just hasn't happened too often. But when it when it has happened, it's just been a little bit recently. it seems like there doesn't seem to be too much to say in each one. We just go, basically what happens is we just go straight to the tiny mad idea, the idea that, okay, this desire is in order to make the ego real and to, get away from the light. Okay, done, next one, and it just seems like, I don't know, it feels like I want there to be perhaps a little more, but it just doesn't seem to have happened too much recently. Feels like there's not too much coming through,
I've noticed that the story around desire starts to fall away. So the desire to tell a story about the desire falls away. So there can be less speaking, and more just being with the energy and asking if it's holding or release. We're kind of experiencing that in our joinings as well. Is there's not always a lot of speaking, but when we are hearing something from Jesus, that's when we do want to share that. So we can even ask him, is this something you want me to share? When we're hearing something internally, is this you? Is this something you want me to say? So
yeah, I feel, we ask Jesus, is there anything else? And maybe wait a little while and then say, well, no, I'm not hearing anything, and then neither am I. But still, it seems like there doesn't seem like quite. It seems like there is something sometimes, and it just for some reason it's not coming through, and that we need to. There's something else that we need to say, and then we can kind of ask if we're ready for a miracle, and if nothing's coming through, then we have to assume that, yeah, we are ready for the miracle. But it's like it doesn't always it doesn't always seem like too much has happened.
Have you tried using the miracle worksheet, Martin, every time?
The miracle worksheet, yeah. Now what's so that? Well, if we kind of go through that, I mean that's there for reference, but so for example, using a miracle worksheet, give me an example of using that.
More and more we're hearing recently in the last few weeks from Jesus to take that miracle worksheet and actually go through it together line by line and see, because it keeps referring back to talking with Jesus and asking him.
Okay.
And so so even though we think we know what it is and we know the format, there's something more in here that he's saying that we need to see, and that comes through when we use it line by line.
You can take another look at it for sure, but it really just says, I mean, doesn't it just say like, okay, are we, I've forgotten what exactly it says, but just saying that we ask if there's anything else, kind of thing.
Yeah, it gets pretty detailed. It gets pretty detailed. You start by seeing
I've got the right miracle. Yeah, it's because there have been several of them, and I hope I've got the latest one. And
yeah,
I remember you had one, and then you took it away and put another one in. So I hope I've got the right one. But,
yeah, the one with the light brigade. We can send you a link to that. I'll send you a link to that.
Send me a link just to make sure I've got the right one. Okay.
Yeah. And then it just helps to focus the mind, because our mind wants to go all over the place. It does not want to stick with a desire. That's totally against what our play and consciousness wants to do. So we can be all over the map while we're trying to get through this. But if we follow that miracle worksheet, it's the light brigade
Yeah.
miracle worksheet. Yeah.
That is the important, and I am getting, definitely that's the important thing, just to always go for the desire. I can say I have a desire to not experience any, to not experience any words, kind of thing. I have a desire for that, and I can always, you always refer back to that, and so yeah, getting that.
Yeah, and one of the important points that he makes is looking at the relishing. Stick with the relishing. Because we can kind of get into the theory or get into concepts, and he's saying, or the story, and he's saying, no, drop all of that and just look at how much you want it. And all of the play and consciousness and all that we think of as the world is all about wanting it to be here, wanting. So yeah, if we look at that and focus on it and ask him, okay, Jesus, do I say this? Is this what you want me to see? And it's all of it is about a practice in that, and directly asking and listening and speaking what we're hearing as the internal voice for God. So yeah, it's practice listening to that voice and speaking it.
I don't know if this will be helpful. Sometimes my partner and I will have something that we feel like is alive, charge of some kind. And instead, it can be very tempting to want to sort of talk about that before we go to chapter 20. But now we're saying, let's look at what the desire is in chapter 20. And in my experience,
whatever's going on with you,
yeah,
you put that aside and just go with whatever you're dealing with in chapter 20.
Well, actually, that what is going on outside, quote unquote, outside or before we go to chapter 20, if we look at the desire, it almost invariably is something that can be encompassed within that desire. You know what I'm saying? So then
within the one you're doing on chapter 20.
Yeah. Because they're all the same anyway.
Of course, yeah. They're all ultimately. Yeah. And I do find that we're also kind of finding this, of course, they're all really the same. I mean, they're all ultimately the same, and they're all there just because we want our ego to be real and all of that. So they're all the same. They're all ultimately the same. And some of the sometimes we get to some of them and they're a little bit hard to figure out. Some of them are a little bit hard to figure out, and other ones so a lot of the time is taken on sort of just trying to become clear about exactly what this desire is about, and then sometimes you have two that look almost identical, just sort of, well, you just ask Jesus to give you some kind of insight into that.
Yeah, I think there's two things. One is that our consciousness, the play in consciousness, is to fragment everything. And even though it may seem like these are all the same, in fact, Jesus is trying to get us to look at each aspect or many, it seems like almost the same, but it's like if we don't take these one thing at a time, one step at a time, and release it, it's all about taking it all the way, looking at it honestly and directly, and then taking it all the way down with Jesus, so that so that all the charge we had around it begins to disappear, and then we're open to looking at a miracle. And then there was something else I wanted to say, which has now left my mind. Let's see. Yeah, it's about constantly checking in and asking Jesus, I don't get this. Please make this clear. I don't understand what this means. It's just like a normal, if you will, a normal conversation with another mighty companion, trying to understand and being willing to really listen to that inner voice. to get clarity on these different desires in chapter 20.
It seems like I have a desire to experience not being able to hear the voice, Jesus' voice, I so
Yeah,
so it feels like I'm asking Jesus, and really, and it's just a blank. It's just like nothing, and that's happened. Yeah, I mean, like it comes and goes. So there have been times when it's just been completely revelation after revelation, happens. But sometimes recently, in the last few weeks, it's been a bit dry, kind of, in that way. Just
that
sometimes.
might be a good desire to look at to start sometime, and that's desire not to hear the voice for God, and just really look at that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Anybody else hearing anything?
Yeah, in the miracle worksheet, when it's saying, he's saying, ask me whether you are ready for a miracle, for I will tell you if you have a hidden desire to deny the miracle. And so, and then ask me if there's anything else you need to see. When I tell you the time is right for a miracle, then you will see it is already accomplished. This will train you to put all miracles under my control and ask for my help for all miracles. I am in charge of the atonement and thus know which miracles are to be performed and what timing is best for miracles, as you desire to refuse yourself miracles and thus suffer the effects of not experiencing miracles and hearing my voice, both of which are natural to you. This is what I mean when I say that miracles must not be under conscious control, as consciousness is the desire to control and thus limit miracles. Thus, you must rely on my guidance in this regard.
Yeah, it's all about talking to Jesus all the time, and just so that what's coming out of your mouth is actually Jesus.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, the mantra around here is, what is Jesus saying? What does Jesus say?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, one of the desires from chapter 20 that I was looking at was you believe the correction takes time, thus you desire an experience in which the acceptance of the correction and thus the atonement takes time.
The acceptance of the correction, yes. Yeah. So therefore, we think the correction takes time. Yeah.
And through speaking, what we're hearing, that's the collapse of time, is just to cease to hold back from speaking what we're hearing. And so that's like stepping into it, is what we like to say, stepping into it, where we don't know what we're going to say or what's going to happen, what it's going to look like. And sometimes there's a lot of resistance to even looking at that. And so it's like, we just ask for miracles to help with that. Sometimes we have to ask for a pre-miracle to look at chapter 20, one of the desires. And so that's kind of what I'm hearing now, is that you can look at that desire, like Mary's saying first, the desire not to hear Jesus first, and ask for a miracle for that. And that'll open you up to looking at the desire, whatever desire is in chapter 20 that you, and then it's just like, it just opens it up to going deeper. And what I see is just how saying no to the resistance right off the bat, just like, yes, there's resistance, but I don't need to go there. I want to go directly to the desire, and then just keep asking, is this release? Is this holding? And whatever. Really, another thing that I've really found helpful is just asking Jesus what question I need to ask, because I won't even know what question to ask. So yeah, it's beautiful because it is asking him for everything. It's
yeah.
So we've got
Another
Laura
thing-
and Kathleen here. Laura and Kathleen have been going through chapter 20 every day in the 90-day program. No, not every day, 3 days a week.
Until we got here, it was every day, but now
Yeah,
it's 3
okay.
days, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And the miracle, of course, doesn't necessarily happen immediately. I mean, you just accept, and it doesn't necessarily happen in the form that you expect it to happen. I mean, it's just like, just have to realize that. So when you just say, okay, am I ready for the miracle? And then you just assume that you are, once you've got that yes, then it's going to happen. And you don't know when, you don't know how, but it's taken care of, right? Basically. And yeah.
What we often notice here is that by the direct looking and the asking Jesus, and then what comes out of the voice that comes out of our mighty companions, is that the whole constriction around that desire, the hanging on to it, begins to loosen up. And we often say, well, it feels lighter. And maybe we haven't fully accepted the miracle, but then of course, Jesus tells us we don't even know what that looks like.
Right.
We have to just keep asking him. But we have noticed many times that, well, this feels much lighter. And oftentimes we get to laughing at it because we've taken it so seriously. And as we look more and more, it just becomes funny.
Yeah, that does. I mean, that is what usually happens, when you do feel that release, but sometimes you just don't feel that immediately. And that's okay. And maybe you're going to feel it in 2 days' time or whatever, or in some completely different way, or some maybe going to, you just don't know, and so don't be concerned about what you're feeling, what your immediate feeling is, but have faith that the miracle is taking place. I guess.
Yeah, keep asking Jesus, keep asking. That's the only voice that's going to give us the straight story, the straight truth.
Yeah, and as you both have been saying, we don't always know when the miracle's happening. That sometimes if, like for example, we were working around body identification, and then for the next day I felt, sort of like I was fluish, and I was just sort of aware of it, not giving it too much attention, but being kind of gentle with the body, and just knowing it. Oh, that's release. And just let that come up and out of the cells or out of the essence.
2 days later, yeah, sure, yeah.
Laura and Kathleen, was there anything this last week that stands out for you in terms of one of the desires from chapter 20 that really triggered some stuff, or?
I don't remember the exact.
I don't either. I'd have to look at
Page
the
122.
Yeah.
there's this. And what I was hearing, Martin, about the miracle as well is that sometimes we hear from Jesus that we're not ready to accept the miracle.
Yeah.
And then we just, but we're hearing that it's complete.
If that happens,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
if that happens, we can just, if nothing else happens, we can just sort of let it go. I mean, we don't have to, we're not ready. Okay. And that's fine. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
we can
And then
get back to
it's
it,
just
perhaps we'll come back.
continuing to look. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can continue to look at night before you go to bed, when you wake up in the morning. Yeah. Okay, Jesus, do I still have a desire for sacrifice? Show me where I really relish this desire for sacrifice.
Mhm. Mm.
Yeah, and delaying the correction is, I get pleasure out of delaying the correction. So I see that it's
Mhm. Yeah, that's a desire, and it's you can always bring it back to the desire. Yeah.
Or do I flat out don't want a miracle? Thank you.
yeah.
The memory goes away when it's cleared, so I
Yeah.
would really have to look at my notes, you know?
I just remember one thing that still comes to me again and again. And I think we were working on, this one. You believe you have a choice to be separate from God. You desire an experience of having the choice to have an experience that feels separate from God. And when we were going through the contemplation, I remember feeling that was true. And I was asking him to elaborate a little bit, because other times I would feel, okay, I can feel the link, I can feel the joy of feeling open to God's presence, the love of the Father, etc. But that was usually when things were going my way. And I would often forget to even to remember that the light is with us, the light is within me, and we can call on it in any second. And Jesus had shared a phrase that just stays with me, and it's a helpful reminder, but he called it willful amnesia, to deny the light and to deny the fact that we can just turn to him at any second. He's there, he's knocking on the door, or you can knock on the door, and it's going to be answered every moment. But the willful amnesia is something that really stuck with me. So just to throw that out.
Yeah.
I find a lot of times when I read the desire, it just sends me right into God. It's just like, oh yeah, just this joy and happiness. It's a pointer to joy and happiness.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a demonstration of I need do nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've also just been reading the desire and just contemplating sentence by sentence, and finding that that's been helpful because we can drink it in a more contemplative way, and then we'll start to explore a little bit after that. But that's been our recent method.
Pointed us
Yeah.
again.
That's a good-
Oh,
That reminds me of recording. If you record your joining,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you can do that as well. Yeah. Yeah.
that invitation has been put out. So
Yeah.
it can be very helpful
Mhm.
to stay focused, really, is what I find. When I'm being recorded, I'm less likely to wander off into La La Land.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. but I think just also just like I think you're saying, just maybe kind of more kind of contemplation. Just quite okay just to give it a few moments, and just, if no words come, just allow that silence, to, before anything does come, and for that to be perfectly okay. We shouldn't feel uneasy, nothing's coming up, kind of. But that's, don't worry about that sort of thing.
Yeah, he's been sharing with us, like, stay out of the interpretive. There's a desire to interpret what's occurring, and so it's like, you don't need to go there. Just stay with me, and
Stay out of the interpret.
just see that if there's a desire to interpret.
Sorry, I'm not quite
Or
understanding.
to get involved with the looking, just
Interpret it.
to interpret.
The
yeah.
whole experience kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep relaxing behind it. And you mentioned the uneasiness. And so if it was me, it'd be like, okay, what is this uneasiness, or the desire for uneasiness? Just sort of start where I am and just relax into it, like lean into it, do the relishing this uneasiness. Because we're really releasing the energy that we've bottled up.
And perhaps as far as possible to share that with your partner as well, rather than just keep it in, just, okay. Share everything that comes up. It's here. I mean, I do, of course, I do a lot of work with Jesus by myself, but without a partner, but just, it's kind of a special situation to have a partner that you can, that you can do it with. And so just try to really kind of become one in that experience, so that you're both, Jesus is coming through you both at the same time. Yeah.
What's been also invaluable for those who are kind of, maybe if they're new to joining in light, are the light circles. And I mentioned it earlier on in this recording, is that we have light circles twice a day as well. And then we have the app where really light circles can be accessed anytime.
I do. I mean, I see, I could turn them up. Yeah. Often recordings, but I'm it depends. Oh, I wanted to ask just another thing. I just wanted to ask about the app. How do I get that? How do I get the app? How do I get that?
Okay, do we want to put a link in Messenger for the app?
Yeah, we can put a link, send you a link. Renee can send you a link. She can send you 2 links, one for the Messenger, the miracle worksheet, and then for the app.
Okay.
And then all you have to do is just follow the instructions. It'll call for your phone number and so forth, and then you'll be connected up. And it's quite remarkable.
Okay, yeah, that would be good. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mobile app, so I don't know. Have we seen it's working on like the iPad? I imagine.
We could try.
I remember. It, when it first opened.
Yeah.
What's that?
On the iPad, it works also.
Like on
okay. I don't
large
have an
mobile
iPad.
Devices as well. Anything that runs an app, I imagine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just got an iPhone, so that's fine. Yeah. Well, thank you.
This has been beautiful.
It's been beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today, Martin. All of us. Yeah.
And keep joining.
Yes, yes, yes.
To everyone. Keep joining. You're always invited.
Mhm.
If you don't have a partner yet, if you're
I might
interested,
be, mhm.
just
I
let
might
us-
be joining you personally fairly soon as well.
Yeah, yeah, Renee is the chapter 20 coordinator, and if you and your partner, Carrie Lynn, are wanting some questions or you'd like to join with her, you can just let her know and that can be worked out.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Right. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
we'll be in touch.